Olivia Nordstrom, the president of our school's chapter of National Junior Honor Society. You are watching the Weekly Roundup. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Olivia. Yes, she is absolutely right. You are watching the Weekly Roundup, and I'm Sheriff P. Glad to have all of you tuning in. We have a big crowd already. Michelle, good morning. Great song. Yes, and that song does have a theme to what we're going to be talking about in a little bit here. Kimberly, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the Weekly Roundup. We are glad that you are here, and I'm so glad that all of you have stepped up to join us on the Weekly Roundup today. We already are over 25 viewers. That's pretty amazing. So quickly, everybody's tuning in. Excuse me. So the Weekly Roundup is where we come to you every single week, and we give you all the latest information about what's going on here at Grace Christian School. Let's see. Good morning, Brasha. Rachel Brasha. Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. It's good to see you. Debbie, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Boy, you guys are lighting me up here really quick, faster than I can push the buttons, which is a great thing. But good morning. Some of our regulars are with us. You heard the Yellow Submarine, and yes, that is going to be a little bit of a theme for a couple of the topics that I'm going to be talking to. Amanda, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. We are glad that you're here on the Weekly Roundup. Well, let's see here. I just got some amazing news probably 3 minutes before we went live, and I didn't have time to put together a slide or anything. Amber, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you are with us. Join us on the Weekly Roundup. And Tina, good morning. This is awesome. You guys are just lighting this up. We're already at 40 visitors and viewers today. But I wanted to share, and Sophie, good morning. Good morning. I'm glad you're on. We have tons of people moving on. So let me get to this real quick. Thank you for the thumbs up. So just about 3 minutes before we went on the air, I had confirmation back that Cynthia Tobias is going to be coming to our school. Those of you who know Cynthia, she is an author, I think, of 30 best-selling books. She's had a show on Focus on the Family Radio. She collaborated with Dr. James Dobson on a number of books. She wrote her own books, The Strong-Willed Child, Every Child Can Succeed, right here. She is a subject matter expert extraordinaire and a highly sought-after speaker when it comes to children and working with them and identifying learning needs or with children outside the box and everything. We have got her. So mark your calendars for November 2nd. Pull out your iPhones, your Androids, whatever you do, your paper and pencil, and write down November 2nd. We are going to have Cynthia Tobias here, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock. And we will give you the location here within the week. Now we're trying to work that out and secure a big location. This is going to be for all of our parents. She will be doing a 90-minute seminar, and I have a meeting with her tomorrow on the phone, and we're going to be discussing exactly what her keynote's going to be. So that is outstanding, and it's a great opportunity for all of us as parents and teachers and grandparents to hear from a subject matter expert who has the facts that back up the results. And so we are super, super stoked to have Cynthia Tobias joining us. Brian, good morning. Glad you have tuned in today. Welcome to the Weekly Roundup. So, the submarine song, we all live in a yellow submarine. What could that possibly have to do with today's show? Well, I want you to subscribe. So remember, to get all the latest information and to know when we go live, hit the subscription button there. And if you want to be notified immediately, ring the bell. Tap that bell and it will ring and it will notify you when the Weekly Roundup goes live. Also, we use our YouTube channel as a form of emergency communication. If there was something wrong at the school and we weren't able to get a phone call out, but we were able to still get internet, we can easily broadcast live from our phone, and that's what having over 1,000 subscribers allows us to do. So please subscribe to our channel. It really helps the school and it helps you stay in the know of what's going on. Let's continue that yellow submarine a little bit further down the road. with subs. Become a substitute teacher. Every year, we go through our sub list, and some people move away, and some subs we hire as classroom teachers. We need subs in every area of our school. We sometimes need office help subs. We need classroom teacher subs, instructional aid subs, playground subs, and kitchen worker subs, and facilities. So if you have a need and you want to be on our sub list, if you're a retired teacher, you're a retired person, you just think you might like to help on the playground, reach out to Christy, my assistant, at koru at gcsrr.org. She will get you all set up so that you can be on her sub list. Kimberly says, wow, about Cynthia. You are absolutely correct. That is a big, big wow for us. But we'd love to have you on our sub list. We'd love to have you be part of the GCS family here on campus on a daily basis. Next thing I want to show you is extremely important. And that's why I put it so high up in the program, and that is Prayer Warriors. Mrs. Krusik runs our prayer group, and she is the ultimate prayer warrior. She leads every Wednesday a prayer group with our parents. I know it's called Moms in Prayers, but she has made it clear. She doesn't care if it's moms, grandmas, grandpas, uncles, dads, brothers, sisters. We want you to come pray. And she is leading a walk around campus where we're going to walk the campus and cover it in God's prayer. And every classroom, every inch of the campus is going to be prayed for. So come next Wednesday, 9/13 at 8:30 in the morning. They figure about 15 minutes they'll walk the campus and just start praying throughout the campus just to continue to bless us for God's covering. And Mrs. Krusik does a great job. If you'd like to talk to her more about the wonderful prayer group that she does and Bible studies and things like that, please come that day and you can reach out to her. If you can't make it, let the school office know and we can put information off to Mrs. Krusik so that you can be part of our prayer warriors at Grace Christian School. The next thing, this is very important also, is the blood drive. Last week, many of you had said you couldn't read the QR code that was on the flyer that I had on here. There it is. I have tested it with my phone. I went up to the QR code. Oh, there we go. It works perfect. The QR code does work, and I made it this big, so if you're watching on the computer, you can get it from your phone, or if someone else is watching it, you can use their phone. We committed to the Red Cross to donate 50 pints of blood. Every time we've done that, we've exceeded it. Right now, we are only at 25 signups. We need at least 30 to 35 more signups. And the reason for that is sometimes the day that happens, people don't feel good. Something comes up, you get here, your blood pressure is a little high, and we always like to have substitutes that we can put right in there. And the City of Hope, who is coming to do this blood drive, leaves with 50 pints of blood. The City of Hope does noble work. They do God's work. They are trying to find a cure for cancer, and they make a difference in families' lives. They save lives. Along with just giving blood and feeling good about yourself, you also get a $10 gift card for In-N-Out. Man, you're giving blood, you're getting a $10 gift card for In-N-Out. When you're done giving blood, you can go to In-N-Out for lunch or for dinner. Bring the whole family. If you're over 16, you can give blood. A 16 to an 18-year-old would need to have a signed parent permission slip. And if you're over 18, you're able to give blood. This isn't just for our families. Do you have loved ones or friends, people at work that you'd like to bring with you? Come give blood and go have coffee at Starbucks. We'd love to have you here giving blood for the City of Hope. They are a great organization, and we'd love to be able to have them leave with 50 pints of blood. Thursday, this coming Thursday, tomorrow is back to school night. There's 2 sessions of back to school night. It starts at 7 o'clock and 7:30, and that is for our 1st grade through 5th grade students. This is back to school night. This is where the teachers tell you about what's going on in their classrooms. It's not a parent-teacher conference. They can't give you individual information about your child. Just think they've only been in class really 3 days at this point. So come with an open mind, open heart, and listen to what your teachers have to say and find how you can partner with your classroom teacher to make this a greatly successful year for your child. Also, if you have a fourth grader, note at 6 o'clock you are meeting in the Hall of Heroes multi-purpose room to go over the Sacramento trip. That's at 6 o'clock for fourth grade parents only in the multi-purpose room. And you'll have an opportunity to hear from the tour guides and the classroom teachers about the upcoming Sacramento trip. That's this Friday or this Thursday, first grade through fifth grade, 7 and 7:30, and fourth grade Sacramento at 6 o'clock. Let's move on to Western Wednesday. Next Wednesday is Western Wednesday. Dress in your best Western wear. It's our Spirit Day. We like to have a lot of fun. We give out prizes. We get pictures for the yearbook. So dress like something Western. Wear your best cowboy duds, your best long sleeve cowboy shirt or a cowboy hat. And come on out and just have fun. We always try to have a different type of Spirit Day each month. And next Wednesday is Western Day. Next Thursday, put this in your calendar. If you're new to Grace Christian School, you really need to pay a listen to this. Just registered for the blood drive. Amber, thank you very much. I'm going to put that right here, and I'm going to leave that up. Whoa, that really got really big. Let's see here. I'm going to leave that right here to remind other parents as we are talking about this. If you're new to Grace Christian School, we have teacher in services once a month. And they're very important because it's an opportunity that we get together as staff and we do different things. Right now, we're in the midst of getting ready for our upcoming accreditation visit. Every 6 years, we've been fortunate is when we do our accreditation, if you don't do a good job, you could possibly have the accreditation team coming out every year, every 2 years, every 3 years. And we always have our ducks in a row, and we usually get a 6-year with a one-day visit at 3 years, or just fill in the report at 3. So we have a WASC visit coming up in the spring, and we want to be ready for that. So this coming Thursday, not tomorrow, the following Thursday, September 14th, we are going to have an in-service. What does that mean? It means school lets out at 11:30. Parents, if you work, I don't want you getting off work early or it being an inconvenience, because we offer daycare from 11:30 to 3:15 for free. So if you would like you would normally pick up your child at 3 and you have till 3:15 because of car line, the same thing holds true. We do not start charging till daycare until 3:15. So if you're working, parents, this shouldn't affect you. We just want you to know. The second really important thing about teacher in services are that the cafeteria is closed. Turn to your neighbor, or if you're driving the car by you, hey, the cafeteria is closed next Thursday. You need to send a sack lunch with your child next Thursday so that they don't go hungry. Now, if they show up in daycare without a sack lunch, we'll try to get a hold of you. If we can't, we'll guarantee and assure you that they're not going to go hungry. We'll figure out something to feed them. But just know that you need to have a sack lunch. So 11:30 early release on next Thursday. It's September 14th. No lunch, and you can go to daycare till 3:15. PST, we had an outstanding meeting with many of our PST representatives yesterday going over calendar stuff, and they have some exciting things planned for this year. We have a big fall carnival coming that they're working on, and they are so excited. It made me excited thinking back to when I was a kid of all the fun that I had at carnivals when I was in grade school. And they're also working on Red Ribbon Week. They're looking at getting a bicycle motocross team out here to do a demonstration. So our PST team is outstanding. And you know what? If you want to be part of PST, I ask you to join and register with PST, because we're in the middle of a PST drive right now, and we want you to be a member. There's a QR code on the form. Fill it out, and you can do your membership through Venmo, or you can send a check in. Sheila says, "Good morning, everyone. Looking forward to back to school night." And then she says, "Back to school night." Absolutely, Sheila. We love back to school night here, and I think it's great to get to see all the parents, and you get a chance to see other parents in your class. So, looking forward to having you at back to school night. Our PST parents are awesome. They're doing a great job planning a lot of things for the spring and for the fall. And a way you can get involved is by joining and filling out the membership form and getting it. We're in the middle of a class contest right now. Which classroom is going to have the most number of memberships? Can you get to 100% membership in your classroom so that your class gets a prize? And I'm not sure what that is, but sign up for PST. You'll be glad you did. Well, you may not be able to get a hold of Bob the Builder, but you can get a hold of J.D. Boyce Construction. This is one of our parents who has sponsored Race for Grace and everything, and he specializes in foundations and framing, two of the key components to building a house or a business or something. You know, it's very biblical what he does. You know, it says in Matthew 7:24-27, Jesus teaches us how to build our lives on a solid ground and a solid foundation. So no matter what comes our way, we will be unshakable. You know what? Based on that, wanting a good foundation, a good structure, reach out to J.D. Boyce Construction. If you're interested in having something built, they will give you the professional guidance that you need. And we can't thank you enough for stepping up and helping be a sponsor at Weekly Roundup. We really do love our sponsors, and that's why we take time in the Weekly Roundup to share that with you. And we want to be a community of support to support each other who supports our great school. Let's see here. Hippie Ice was last week, and we had a group of parent volunteers out here who provided outstanding refreshments for all of our students. Here was a group of our preschoolers that were there. The great thing about Hippie Ice that our teachers loved and staff members was they had the opportunity to get cold coffee, cold brew coffee, lemonade, strawberry lemonade, and with huge portions. So they were like super stoked. This isn't your mom's icy machine truck. This is your grandparents' truck. This is a great truck that came out and provided some outstanding refreshments for our students and for our teachers. It made for some very excited teachers. I can't believe I drank one of those, like, it looked like a tub of cold brew coffee. I think I'm just now coming down from the shakes from that, but it was a lot of fun having them out here.
The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no stopping in the red zone.
The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no stopping in the red zone.
Well, did you get that? There is no stopping in the red zone. We do have a red zone out there. I figured to put this little audio clip up there for you to hope to drive it in. There is no stopping in the red zone. The curb is for immediate unloading and loading of our students. If you stop in the red zone, stop. It doesn't mean, give me just 1 second. You will receive a ticket. Our finest, Cypress Police Department, started issuing tickets last week after we had our weekly roundup. Like Big Dog said, let's see the ticket books come out and people will start listening. Well, the ticket books came out and they started writing tickets. That's not my goal to see you get a ticket. My goal is for us to be safe, to keep our students safe. Great movie. Thank you, Big Dog. Yes. So yes, they started issuing citations, and we're noticing it's starting to get better. And so remember, don't park in the red zone. Don't stop in the red zone. And you can go along the curb. If you need to come do business in the school, park in a spot. If there are no spots, park in the street. That way, we keep all of our kids safe. Also, a few other things. You should have that audio in real life. That would deter people. You know what? Sheila, you might be right. We could play that over the loudspeaker out there. It's so funny because I just heard about it in Oakland. A Home Depot there was playing classical opera music to help deter the thieves from coming there, that it would be aggravating. Yes, this might help Carline even move quicker if you had to listen to that over and over again, and it would be a good memory to hear that. But parents, some of the things you could get a ticket for is blocking people's driveways, parking in the red zone, stopping in the red zone, speeding over 25 miles an hour on Myra, parking on Myra on Monday mornings, which is street sweeping day, and finally, using this thing, a device. doing texting or making phone calls. It's called distracted driving, and they are looking at ticketing people. Next thing I wanted to kind of review with you is school lunch. We talked about this last week. It's important to go onto your fax account and deposit money there for your school lunch account so your child is able to get their lunches uninterrupted. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you need more information, you can go to our website, gcsrr.org, and find information about lunch, or go to your fax account is where you can make a deposit to your account. Spiritware, this is the last week for Spiritware orders. We're coming into this week and next, and Mrs. Mullaney will put all those orders together, get the order placed, and let's see here, it says, just wondering why there's no crossing guard at Myra and Denny. The reason, my understanding is, there is no crossing guard at Myra and Denny is because of the amount of student population that crosses there. It's very limited, and that's why the city doesn't put one there. They find the higher amount of crossing is taking place up the street, and that's kind of why it's a city function that they decide. We don't have a lot of students that walk home, and so I think for us it might be 2 or 3, and it's hard for them to justify a crossing guard for that. Although safety is extremely important, I would assume that's why the city has not put a crossing guard there. It just doesn't get a lot of foot traffic from there, from our school or Damron down the street. So that would be why. But great question. Remember to get those orders in for your Spiritware, and Mrs. Mullaney will be getting those in right away. Take a look at this great tape. This is the great Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal working together. We still need a basketball coach for our women's basketball team. Have you coached rec ball? Have you coached travel ball? Have you coached league basketball? Or have you just played? We'd love for you to reach out to Mr. John Garius. There's his email address. Don't look down if you're driving. djohngarius@gcsrr.org. Email him and let him know you'd like to coach. Or call the office at 714-761-5200 and ask for Mr. John Garius. Talk to him. You'd be surprised the love that you get in return from our ladies when they're playing basketball and you're teaching them something that you enjoy. We'd love to have you be a basketball coach for us, and we're still in need of one, so step up and do that. And we can't wait for that. It's coming on October 31st. It's 1 month from now. You will be receiving a permission slip so they can come in. They do a vision test, and it's great if we can catch a vision problem before it gets bad, or we've waited a few months and said, maybe they can't see and they're sitting at the back of the classroom. We always start this out within the first month or two, and St. Mary's does a great job of identifying any vision issues. They will give you information about the testing if they identify that your child might have a vision problem, and it's a great opportunity to get it taken care of early so that doesn't affect their learning in the classroom. Last week I talked to you about medication. This is the last time I'm going to tell you about it or remind you about it, that all medication needs to be turned into the office. A form needs to be filled out. Do not send medication with your child in their backpack, in their lunch pail, in their locker. Students are not to have medication. They're not to self-medicate. It needs to be brought to the office so that it's protected and we're protecting other students. The other reason I'm reminding you is if your child has an allergic reaction to bees or peanuts or something like that, we need to know about that. And if there's an EpiPen that we need to have, that has to be here at the school, because sometimes seconds count and we want to be able to respond swiftly as a staff while we're getting 911 and getting in contact with you. So please, parents, if there's medication that your child needs to be taking, get it turned into the office quickly and the appropriate paperwork filled out. And remember, don't send medication with your child in their backpacks, lunches, or having it on their person. It's not safe for them, and it's not safe for others. Also, last week I told you about a lot of paperwork going home. It's the same 90-10 rule. 90% of our parents have already turned in their paperwork, and we can't thank you enough for that. There's 10% out there straggling. I understand life gets in the way. Can you please do us a solid and get that paperwork together and get it turned in this week so that we can close the books on all of those different things. Woo, boy, take a deep breath, Sheriff P. Hey, the next thing I want to talk to you about is 5 things you need to know. there are 5 things that, as a parent, that I wanted to make sure my kids had a solid understanding of. And if they had a solid understanding of these things, that they would be successful young adults. I am super happy with how my kids have grown, how they have moved along in their love all your themed music. Thank you, Mrs. Rachel. Thank you very much. We are trying to make it a little different. So thank you, Rachel. Brashad, I agree with you. Some fun music, fun clips and things like that gets you interested. What's he going to do next? Anyway, there's 5 things that I really wanted to make sure that my kids knew as they move on. And you know what? These 5 things are things that each one of us as adults, if we have these as a foundation in our life, we've got it going on pretty good. So I'm going to entertain myself and share these with you over the next 5 weeks. Each week I'm going to share one with you. And the first thing I want to share with you that everybody should have in their life and that you should be teaching your child is to love God. If you teach your child to love God, that is going to answer it's going to be the solution to so many problems that they may come across. As an adult, if we love God, it's going to be the solution to so many problems that we come across. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Mark 12:30 tells us that. God tells us that in the Bible, that we are to love him. What are some ways that we can love God? We can love God by worshiping, by singing, by reading our Bible. We should have our Bible handy that we can refer to. We can love God by talking with God, by praying. How do we talk to God? We pray to God. That's how. So today, each week, I'm going to give you one of the new points. It's going to be a simple, like 1 minute. And if you put these 5 together, I can assure you, you will see a noticeable change in your kids, a noticeable change in your own life, and a noticeable change in your family. Start loving God. You can do that by talking to him through prayer, by reading the Word, getting in the Word, by going to church on Sundays or getting to be part of a Bible study, coming to our prayer group, and just talking about God. You know, if it embarrasses you, start small. Every journey of 1,000 miles begins with little steps, and you can start small. Just a little prayer. Just, God, be with me today. That's okay. And as you continue to do that, you will get more comfortable talking to God on a daily basis. Well, parents, that concludes this weekly roundup. It looks like we have a ton of people visiting. I'm so glad that you are all tuning in. Remember to love God this week and share that with your kids. That's step number 1 of the 5 things you need to know to have a wonderful life. Parents, thank you for sending your kids to Grace Christian School and trusting us. We will continue to pray for you. Please continue to pray for us. And until next week, may God bless the trails you ride. Have a great day, everyone.